For all you singers who want to have a voice as strong in your 70s and 80s as you do today, we'll talk in this episode about vocal care. Plus, we'll chat about ASCAP's New York Sessions, a one-day career boost for songwriters and composers. Those things are coming up next because you're in The Simmer. Welcome to The Simmer. I'm your host, Michael Thurston. You know, the music industry is full of stories of rock guitarists destroying their instruments after a concert. But vocalists, obviously, have to be a little more careful with their instruments. To find out more about vocal care, I talked to professional opera singer and educator LaToya Lain. I first asked LaToya why vocal care is so important.
The main thing about vocal care is you have to remember the vocal cords are about this small. And if you don't take care of them, they'll be damaged, and sometimes it's beyond repair, and every singer wants to be in this for longevity. So, you can shorten your career by many decades if you don't take proper care of your voice.
So tell me about your vocal routine, like every day. Do you have any insider tips for us and techniques that you use as a performer?
The main thing for technique is to study with someone. You should be working with a trained professional coach. I like to think of the voice kind of like going to the gym. It's a muscle. So every day you're warming up at least 20 minutes with the exercises that your teacher gives you, and then you're studying repertoire that would enhance your voice rather than damage it. Sure, he will explain to you what you're doing, what happens with the larynx, what's happening with your breathing, and all these things work together to give you your optimum sound.
Some singers, LaToya, either sing very loudly or they're asked to sing very loudly. What can this do to the voice? Is that damaging?
Well, it depends on the singer. Some singers have naturally loud voices, but as soon as you start to sing louder and you feel tension here, or you feel it tight, or you feel like it's pressing, or it starts to get sore, then you're doing too much. People like cheerleaders or people who have to use their voices, loudly all the time, normally they'll just start to develop what we call vocal calluses or nodules on the voice. They have that raspy voice because the cords aren't approximating, and so the air is just passing through.
So if a singer feels that their voice is damaged, what do you suggest they do?
Well, if you're feeling like you have a sore throat or something is just not quite right, it'll probably be because your teacher is hearing something funny. So the first thing I would do is to go to your ENT, your ear, nose, and throat doctor, and they'll scope you and look at your cords. And they can look at it and see if it's hemorrhaging, cords hemorrhage. Also, they can check to see if there are vocal nodules there, and then they'll proceed in terms of if you need surgery. And sometimes surgery is not always the answer. You can work with a speech pathologist and your vocal coach who will do exercises to help restore your voice. It's just basic those kinds of exercises just to get the cords back strengthened.
So LaToya, someone says, I'm going to be a big pop star, a big R&B star, but smoking and drinking and staying up late, that's part of the image. What do you think that lifestyle is doing to the voice?
A lot of damage, and I understand. I do have some R&B singers and pop singers, and I understand the life. But you also have to remember, this is your money maker. So if you want to spend time in the parties, and then 10 years from now you don't have a voice because of it, nobody's going to be asking for you because they're going to be looking at the next pop singer. You have to remember, you need to take care of this first.
Are there any food or beverages in general that you as a singer either avoid or things that you really try to take in on a performance day?
Normally on a performance day, a lot of milk products, dairy products, lactose, people try to stay away from because it creates like a phlegm on your cords. Water is the key to everything, just plenty of water. I had a coach who used to do apples all the time because she thought that it removed some of the phlegm off your cords. So the main thing is the water, and if you can, stay away from the dairy.
Finally, I asked LaToya about her upcoming projects.
And in September, I'm performing with Opera Noir here in Manhattan. It's a black opera company of all African-American singers, and they are fabulous singers. So in September, I get to do my first headline show.
A lot of musicians I know love to barbecue, but the best steak they ever grilled up, if they're anything like me, was after a couple lessons with the expert known as Grandpa. A lot of do-it-yourself musicians also learn from the best by attending seminars and conferences. Enter ASCAP. On March the 10th, ASCAP's New York Sessions will give songwriters and composers a full day of career-boosting seminars, and it's less than $100. To find out more about the event, I chatted with ASCAP's Erik Philbrook. Erik is the editor-in-chief of ASCAP's magazine Playback, and he quickly filled me in about his organization.
First, let me say that ASCAP is a membership organization of nearly 340,000 songwriters, composers, and music publishers. And for the longest time, ASCAP has served the music creators in many different ways, from protecting their music and making sure they get paid for performances of their music. And part of what we've done is nurture the careers of songwriters and composers. And we've put on workshops around the country for years.
So Erik, tell us about New York Sessions, the expo. How long has it been taking place?
Well, 4 years ago, we kick-started the ASCAP I Create Music Expo in Los Angeles, which is a 3-day conference. And we've had such a great success with that, and we really found that we were fulfilling a need that really wasn't out there, and that was a conference specifically for songwriters and composers. And so we decided to launch New York Sessions as a 1-day career boost for the New York region.
So how can singers-songwriters benefit from attending New York Sessions?
There are so many tools and services and opportunities available for artists at all stages of their career. You know, you have social networking sites, you have software in which you can set up studios in your own home. So a lot of songwriters are doing a lot of their own work for themselves. The panels that we're going to have are really going to focus on how to take everything that's out there and best put it to use in your own career. In addition to the involvement of some of our top members, we have people from the digital distribution world, music publishers, software companies there. So it's really a collaboration between the creators and then the businesses that support those creators, and bringing them together and really showing people how to make everything work for you.
Can you give us some examples of the topics the panels will be covering that day?
Our first panel is Your Dream Team, which is really an exploration of how to put together a team, which would include an attorney, a label representative, a manager, a publisher. So we put together representatives from all these different realms. Our closing panel of the day for New York Sessions is a super panel that represents sort of music creators from different realms. We have Adam Schlesinger from Fountains of Wayne. We have a composer, Nico Muhly, who just composed the score for The Reader. We have Sam Hollander, who is a producer here in New York, who has worked with a lot of up-and-coming modern rock acts like Metro Station, Cobra Starship, and We the Kings. And so what we try to do is bring together really a diverse group of people to speak on our panels so that they sort of give a well-rounded view of how you can get where you want to go.
I know you have a featured speaker, a keynote address this year. Who is that, and what's he going to be talking about?
Well, our keynote interview is with Rob Thomas, who is a Grammy Award-winning songwriter who's, as many people know, had great success with his band Matchbox 20, but even went to greater success writing music for his own solo career, as well as for other artists like Carlos Santana, Willie Nelson, and Mick Jagger. So he has a real unique perspective because he started out in a band like a lot of people do, and really broadened his horizons.
Both for the Rob Thomas address and all the panels. Should we come with questions?
Absolutely. The whole spirit of this event is really to be able to interact with the panels and ask questions.
Is there a registration deadline?
You can go to ASCAP's website, which is ascap.com, and just click on the link to New York Sessions. The cost for ASCAP members through March 3rd is $55 and $75 for non-members, and then the price goes up after that, but by not that much.
To find out more about ASCAP's New York Sessions, which is again on March 10th, visit ascap.com. Till next time, keep working on respectable musicianship. And by the way, in our next webisode, we'll be talking with professional wind player Dennis Anderson about practicing. Till then, I'm Michael Thurston for The Simmer.